Alright, CNT125, Secure Design Lab. We just got done putting the access list on the router, and we're doing some tests. So I actually tested everything on my VLAN 10 PC, and everything functioned. I was able to browse, I was able to telnet, I was able to SSH. Now, in between podcasts here, I took the PC I was using, and I literally moved it over to VLAN 20 PC port, or VLAN 20 port, reconfigured the 6411, 64.1 is the gateway. So I basically made the one I'm podcasting on right now an extra PC in VLAN 20. Because I want to show you, when I do telnet or SSH, what actually happens. So if I pull up a new telnet session here to telehack.com, when I try to do that, it literally sits here and goes, no, and kicks me offline. The router has denied my telnet session. Okay, so I'll close that out. That is getting filtered. I'll open up SSH and see if I'm able to SSH into the router. 192.168.64.1. That's my gateway address. I'm going to try to SSH into the router. Again, it's going to sit here in timeout and kick me offline. That SSH session has been denied as well. So my access list filtering those two protocols is working. And again, if I open up my browser, my HTTP should still work. And because I'm able to just click and go, my DNS is also working as well. Those two protocols are not getting filtered. Okay? That's what I should be seeing when I test this. Test on both PCs. Your VLAN 10 should fully function. Nothing should get filtered. Yet your VLAN 20 PC is going to get filtered for telnet and SSH. So make note of that. Now, the next part, I'm going to do my Nmap from my VLAN 20 PC. So again, one of the other reasons I took my podcast PC and moved it over here to VLAN 20 is so I can run an Nmap on that. I'm going to open my Nmap again, like I used for the firewall part of the lab. Plug in the gateway. This case is 64.1 because I'm on the visitor VLAN subnet over here. So 64.1 is my gateway right there. I'm going to do a scan of that. And I should note, I should see some ports closed. I should see some ports open, but I should also see some ports closed, like my telnet SSH kind of thing. That's what I should be starting to see. So I'm going to look at this like I did my firewall. And when I'm done, I'll save these as a text file for submission for this part of the lab as well. So I'll let this run a second, and we'll go through our tabs when we're done here to see what we see. Alrighty, so as I take a look over here, I'll go to the ports tab. Notice 22 and 23 are filtered. So it's making note of the access list, we filter them. In real life, you would have plenty more there that you're going to filter and block. But you start getting the idea that, 8443 is being allowed. Over here, 22, 23, filtered SSH and telnet are being filtered. So you're starting to see the results of your work on the router. And here it even tells you what type of router this guy is. Alright, we're going to highlight all this guy. We'll do a select all. We're going to do a copy. We're going to open our notepad again. And we will save these results. And I think this time we're calling it Cisco Router Nmap Scan. There we go. Cisco Router Nmap Scan. So there's our firewall scan we did earlier. Now we're doing the Cisco router scan. So again, in real life, after you do some work on putting rules or filtering on something, you use a tool like Nmap and scan it to go, are things being closed like I want them to? Are they being filtered like I want them to? After you do updates, scan it. Is there anything popping up open that the update caused to be open and it shouldn't be open? Those kind of things. That's where your Nmap tool or tools like it become useful. So save that. Next part here, we're not done with the lab, but do save your router and switch config while you're here. I'll close my Nmap. And I think I'm still on the router. So I will do my Cisco for my console, enable class. And I will do a show run on this, and I will save my router config while I'm here, and I will also save the switch config while I'm here. So here's my router config. I'll scroll the whole way down. I'm going to do a Control-C there. I'll open Notepad again. I will paste that in, and I will call that in there. Again, I want to see the access list and all that kind of good stuff, your NAT, all that wonderful stuff. Save as, and I think we're calling this, what are we calling this? Router ACL config. Yeah, there we go. So we'll do router ACL config.txt. I'll save that. I'm not erasing yet. I'm not erasing. And I'm going to quick grab the switch config while I'm here too. This is one of those parts of the lab I don't want to forget to do that. So I'm sure to have these configs. So Cisco again, enable, class. Again, we'll do a show run. Space, space, space. I want to see all the VLAN config on here. I'll scroll up and I will highlight all of this. Control-C, and I'll throw another notepad in here. File, new, file, save as, switch, ACL config. There we go. And now I have both my configs saved. Okay. The last thing to do is we're going to do a software firewall. So right now, let me close my putty here. Right now I have my PC in as a VLAN 20 PC. So I need to take this guy and put him back. And I was doing that simply so you could see the action. So I'm literally taking the PC I'm using for podcasting. I'm moving it back to VLAN 10. That's where it should be. Let's go network and sharing here. I'm going to quick set this guy back. You should not have to do this because you can alternate between your computers. I'm just doing mine 192.168.32.10, 255, 220.40, 192.168.32.1. This should put him back into the VLAN 10 network. I will give it a second and I will do an IP config to make sure that's coming up. There we go, 32.1. So this is now back. I put him over here temporarily so I could show you the testing. I put him right back where he belongs. So I have him back as this PC right here. What we want to do now is VLAN 20 PC is filtered by the firewall. We want to do a small filter on the VLAN 10 PC using the Windows firewall. Again, a host-based firewall. So we're going to go to the VLAN 10 PC, and we are going to filter Telnet on this PC. Okay, so right now Telnet and all that stuff works. If I open up a new putty session here to Telnet, telehack, oh my goodness, telehack.com. That works, okay? So we're back to a VLAN 10 PC. Let's open up the Windows firewall. So we're going to left click on the Windows icon. We're going to go to the control panel. In here, we're going to do System Security. We want to do Windows Firewall. Okay. Over on the left, we're going to select the option for Advanced Settings. So over here, Advanced Settings. And here, we're going to do Outbound Rules, New Rule. So we'll do Outbound Rule, and we're going to say New Rule. So we're going to put a filter in here to filter Telnet, and it's going to be on the PC itself. Now, normally a user PC is locked down that they can't do these setting changes. You would do these and then kind of let them do their local login. We're going to do this for them. Actually, we're going to do that like we would be doing in our network. So we're going to click the port option. We're going to do Next. We are going to do TCP specific remote port 23, TCP specific port 23, because that's the port number for Telnet. We're going to block that connection. We're going to say on any network. We're going to give it a name, and we'll call it Block Telnet. This is very much like we did on the firewall, Block Telnet. Traffic kind of thing. We'll say Finish. That should now show up here and even shows that it's blocking. Okay. We're now going to give it a try. So on this PC, I'll close that out just to make my screen a little cleaner. On this PC, we're now going to open up our utility here. And we're going to try to Telnet. We'll try to do the telehack.com thing again. We'll say Open. And right away, it's saying permission denied. It didn't even try to go anywhere because the operating system on this PC is filtering it. So another piece of our security puzzle is we might actually do some firewall settings on a PC, on the operating system itself. In addition to the switch, in addition to the router, in addition to the firewall, this is another piece of our puzzle. Okay, we're going to export that rule so we can show that we did it. So here we'll go to Control Panel again. We'll go to System Security, Firewall. Over here, we'll do Advanced Outbound, Advanced Settings, Outbound, and we'll highlight this guy, highlight that, and click Export List on the right side. We just want that one. Highlight that guy. And over here, there's an option for Export List. And I'm going to throw it in my Security and Design folder. And I'm going to call it as a Windows Firewall Rule.txt. So Windows Firewall Rule.txt. That way it gets saved as a text file. Okay. And if I go to my folder over here, here should be my Windows Firewall Rule. If I open that guy, okay, it shows a lot of extra junk in there. But there's my block telnet traffic. That's what I really want to see up at the top up there. Okay. There's my block telnet traffic. And that shows the rule that we did. Alrighty. Here, I need to do some cleanup. So once I've done that, I need to remove that rule because that might affect the future user. So we're just going to highlight that guy and we're going to delete that rule and get it out of there so that does not affect anybody else. And for the rest of my cleanup, I do need to, on my router and my switch, I need to get rid of, on my router I need to get rid of the encryption key. On the switch I need to get rid of my VLANs. So on my router, let me go back to my console here. Okay, I'm in my switch right now. So on my switch, I would do my delete /: VLAN.dat very carefully. And then I would do my erase start. Enter. And if I did a reload right now, it would reboot for me. And so I could do a reload right here and this thing would reboot and become clean. So I'll get that one going, and I'm going to move my console over to the router here. And on the router, I do need to make sure I clear off the encryption key first. So I'm going to do my crypto key zeroize. So config T, crypto key zeroize RSA. Zeroize RSA. Do you want to delete them? Yes, I do. And now I will do my erase. I'll come back here. I'll do my erase start and delete that. And then I can do a reload after this as well. And that'll reboot the router. I'm not going to save anything. I don't want to save anything. It'll reboot and come up clean. So there is the cleanup for my lab. The only thing left would be put our cables back into the college and reset the IPs to dynamic. And then we do have a handful of questions here to answer to submit for the lab. And I tried to put down here also a list of all your files that you should be gathering together for submission on the lab. And there's our Security and Design Lab.